What makes a Roblox game great? To me, it's something you can play over and over while having fun every time you do. In that simple definition, there's one game that no matter how many times I play it or who I play it with, it feels just as great every time. I have beaten this game around 10 times and I have around 11 hours or more inside of it, but still every time I play it, I enjoy it just as much as the first time. There's so much to do in it, and every time you win, it's just as satisfying and motivating as the first. The game I'm talking about is Expedition Antarctica. I know it's a crazy random game, but hear me out on why I believe this. This game is a journey that needs more recognition, so please give it a chance. Before we get into this video, I'm trying to get to 1K before the end of the year, so if you would consider subscribing and liking the video, it would help a lot. With that said, let's get back into the video. If you have no idea what Expedition Antarctica is, I'll explain the whole journey first. You start off having to choose what country you'd like to represent. After that, you are inside the base camp, where you can get supplies like energy bar and water, and once you're prepped, you're ready to make your way to the first camp. Along the way, you'll have to do parkour up like a mountain, with some memorable moments like jumping over a waterfall and having to catch a ladder to survive. Continuing on, there will be a tightrope that you have to carefully cross, which leads you to the last step before getting to Camp 1. Here, you will see ladders connected to the mountains that you have to climb onto and get across with some easy jumps. After that, you face the last obstacle, which is 2 bridges that have been destroyed. But with some patience and simple parkour, it's not too bad. Once you do that, you finally make it to Camp 1. After you leave Camp 1, the first place you'll have to go through is a windy valley, which will try to push you off the map. This means that you will have to adjust your jumps to account for the wind pushing you, which makes it a unique part of the game that is only in this area. After some more ladder parkour, you'll make it to the highest point in the Trans-Arctic mountain. Once you walk a little farther, you'll be faced with a choice of going the safe or the abandoned path. Each choice will lead you to the same place, but obviously the parkour for the safe path is easier than the abandoned one, with the abandoned one having rusted ladders and the safe having newer and complete ones. After that, you arrive at the Cloud Maker Mountain, where like the name suggests, has fog covering the whole part while you have to navigate through it without falling off and dying. The next part is a favorite of mine, where you board a snowmobile and navigate through small bridges. Once you finish gliding across the ice, you arrive at the most random part of the game. Here, you'll have to jump into the water and follow a red line provided for you. You will swim for about a minute through parts of complete darkness until you finally emerge outside the tunnel. Once you're out, you've officially made it to Camp 2. The first obstacle of Camp 2 is climbing up a mountain that is prone to avalanches. There's a sign that tells you the chances of one happening, but if you want to be brave and go for it, you can avoid the avalanche by going behind a rock. Once you make your way up, you'll find a place where you have to attach a rope to yourself, and then you will start ice climbing. It's a pretty simple process, but after you complete it, there will be another avalanche mountain to avoid. With that done, you're doing great on your journey, making it to the highest peak mountain inside of Antarctica, Mount Vincent, which evokes a great feeling of accomplishment as you look around and see the obstacles that you've completed this far. You'll keep making your way back down until you get to the most stressful part of the game. Here, you'll have to go across not 1, not 2, but 3 tightropes, where if you make one wrong move, you'll die. You would have spent around 25 minutes to get to this point, so death can make all that progress go away. Even though I've completed this game more times than I can count, it still makes me nervous for the fear of losing it all. But once completed, the feeling cannot be explained. The weight lifted along with joy of actually completing it creates a great feeling that you have to experience for yourself. With that done, you have finally made it to Camp 3. And if you are here at night, you'll be able to see the northern lights. Since we're at Camp 3, there's only one camp left for our journey. As you keep moving forward, there are more iceberg jumps to be made, until you come across a part with frozen ice that cracks if you stand on it for too long. You have to quickly run past this part until you see an entrance of an ice cave. You have to navigate through this icy place while avoiding water to not take damage. Once out, your next step is to do ladder jumps over a deep hole where if you fall, you die. If you are able to complete it, then you'll make it to Camp 4, the final one. At Camp 4, there's only one obstacle left between you and completing your quest, this being Shackleton Glacier. It is basically a valley of ice, but there are no markers of where you're supposed to go, so you must use all your training and previous experience in order to navigate through it. Once you finally escape though, you've done it. As you begin to walk closer, the victory music will fade in. You completed it with the odds against you, something no person was supposed to do according to nature, but you did it. In Roblox, of course, but still. As you keep walking forward, you finally make it, placing your flag of the country you chose along with all the others that came before you. Once you finish up, your only mission left is to go home. You go inside of the plane sitting there. They'll fly you home while you watch everything you completed and are able to see the next generation trying to follow in your footsteps. Once the flight is complete, you're right back to where you started. To me, this game is perfect. The atmosphere, music, and map are beautifully done and gives that feeling of hiking into a new area. Every victory in this game to me feels like I've earned it and I deserve to be where I am. The flight back and all the minor milestones along the way also feel very rewarding, like this journey I went on made a difference in the world. While at the end of the day, it is a Roblox game, it is my favorite one, and that actually makes me feel motivated. Even though it sounds silly to be motivated, it motivated me enough to make a video on it. With all that said, I strongly recommend you play this game yourself with either a group of friends or alone. It's one journey that me speaking about can't do justice. With all that said, thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!